Febri already?
Yes.
Yes. Udah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of Science and Computer Technology STEKOM University in Semarang, Indonesia for the webinar international event, The Habit That Could Improve Your Career in Business File. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Novita and I will be hosting you for today's event. Now, please let me welcome our special guest for today. Welcome to the Honorable Mr. Andrii Vasyliev as a candidate of Economic Science, Associate Professor of the Department Management, Faculty of Economic Science from Petromohila Black Sea National University, Ukraine, to the Honorable Liudmyla Semenova, PhD, as a PhD Economy, Associate Professor from the University of Custom and Finance, Ukraine, to the Honorable Associate Professor Norman Chiliya, as a lecturer, Department of Business Management, Faculty Management, Commerce and Law from University Vendel, South Africa, and the last Miss Ida Hendriyani, M.Hum, as a lecturer of Computer System Department from STEKOM University, Indonesia, and last but not least, also to the Honorable guest and audience today. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes here. Today's session is being live streamed on Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And for today's event, we will start with Indonesia national anthems and continue with the opening speech by Dr. Teguh Santoso as a rector of STEKOM University. And the next session, we will start with the main event presentation by our special guest today and continue with the Q&A session and take a picture for documentation. And last, time for closing. Okay, for the square of this morning agenda, we will sing our national anthems. For the operator today, you can start this session today. Thank you, Miss Febri. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First, now we will invite to the stage the most responsible person for the conduction of this skill international event to give an opening speech from Dr. Joseph Teguh Santoso as a rector of STEKOM University, represented by Mr. Wibi Adi Alfianto as the director of student affairs. Yeah, for Dr. Wibi, the time is yours. Thank you.
Greeting to all participants and also the honorable of student and all participants. Thank you very much for giving me Florek, it's my pleasure to have a couple of words at the beginning of this webinar. I am Viviardi Alfianto as the Director of Student Affairs, presenting Dr. Joseph Santoso as a Rector for have a few words because in today's session, our Rector can join in this session because some of his activities. Okay, first I want to express my gratitude to the international office from Petromovia Plexi National University from Ukraine, University of Custom and Finance Ukraine, University of Venda South Africa, and STEKOM University in Indonesia for recognizing such a network of such events, which are very useful for students from many countries, and for the partnership, we are good partner with all universities today. And then I would like to express my gratitude to all university employees who are involved in the arranging this series of webinars with participants of experts from different countries. But this initiative thoroughly inspires specialists and motivates them to share their experience. Moreover, such practice of arranging this kind of event are a crucial part of the international scene of higher education in today's topic and are linked with the significance of the habit that will improve your career in business field. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope through this webinar international event, we can get more information about the habit that will improve your career in business field. And finally, I wish you to enjoy the program today and for the participant to get new knowledge in the session today. Thank you.
Thank you for Dr. Wibi. And we will go to the main event for today, our audience. If you have any question from the speaker, please add them into the chat and we'll be to answer some after during the Q&A session after our presentation. Each presenter today will have about 30 minutes for the presentation. Now let's please welcome our first presenter, Dr. Andrii Vasyliev from Petromovia Plexi National University. Yeah, for Mr. Andrii, the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I will share my screen. One moment. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Hello from Ukraine. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm very honored to make a speech for you. And today we will talk about this very interesting, as for me, theme and very useful. Because as I understand, lots of us in this Zoom are students, and as for me, I'm thinking that before 25 years old, the brain is growing. So I think that this is a good time to think and to talk about habits, because habits improves our skills and skills moving us to business field. And I want to say that today I will leave some open questions that everybody have to think individually. And I want to announce that tomorrow we plan to continue with other interesting topic. So I will leave some material for tomorrow as well. And the first open question before I will introduce myself, that I advise you to think. The first question is, what you mean a career? What you mean a career in terms of what you want? You want to be to build a career as an instrument, as a tool, or you want to be happy, or you want to have some recognition from the society, and so on. because you will be satisfied with your career only if it makes you happy, and what you do brings you some self-esteem, brings you money, makes your family happy, makes your country more successful, and so on. So consider what is a point, what is a career for you, what is final destination that will make you happy. This is the first open question, and I will leave some more today. So I have half of an hour, and first I will introduce myself and my background, and then I will try to give you a short answer, what habit, that is the topic for us. And I will check sometime this chat. So about me, and what is some controversy as well that I'm asking my student. I have two careers, and this is my background. The first career, as for me, is in short, I'm a scientist and entrepreneur in Ukraine, in Europe, and my first career is that I'm a founder of Bright.com. And this is my company that creates a platform for digital rehabilitation and inclusive education. And we make medtech and edtech projects in several countries. And what I'm proud that I have passed 3 crises with my company. The first one was world finance crisis in 2008, then in 14 and 22 was war in Ukraine, and then this full-scale invasion that you know about, I hope. And this all affected my career and affected my thoughts about what is career. Second is Petromohila Black Sea National University, where I'm associate professor. I work almost 20 years in this field, and I have about 5,000, I calculated before this presentation, of my graduates. And of course, I monitor many of them about their careers, their life, and how it is connected, their life and their careers. Besides that, besides economics, I like psychology, as you can see from my first this Bright moment, and this all affect my thoughts about this career. On the 2 next slides, I will show you a little bit about what we do. And because then I will make some examples when I will talk about the secret habits that I consider. But now I want to ask you a question that you can think. How many careers you built? Because today, with all this virtual reality, with all this, and in future that waits for us, we are able to build several careers. We don't need to move from one workplace to other workplace. All is virtual, all is via computers. And a person may build 2 careers, and one, I think the main term is that, for example, scientific career should support business career and vice versa. So think about it, because maybe many of you will not have only one career, and you should plan this beforehand. And the second question is, what your business environment? Because it is a person need to consider risks, because we are now waited that we have a war, for example, and this affected my career and career of my colleagues in dramatic way. So there are many considerations you may have about a planning of career in a timeline during your life, what risks you have, and so on. So when I was thinking about one habit that could help, of course, I had a lot of variants. I had an array of variants. What can be helpful? What habit could be helpful? But I had a critics for many ideas that I have, because business environment is changing. For example, you can add carriers and some external factors work, for example, your country, your family, and so on. So it is not a very easy question, but I think I had a clue for you, some solution, and I will show it. First, a little bit about this background moments. This in short about my company. You see, we make some, I will make it very short, this kind of introduction. So I will not tell everything, just a little bit. What we make, imagine a kind of rehabilitation room that people may come in and make a rehabilitation on post-COVID, post-stress, and so on. And it's full of electronic devices. We consider that digitalization in rehabilitation will solve this problem, that there are much more in post-COVID era people with problems and not enough doctors, and they burning out. This is very short about my background in business in some pictures. And I drive a huge company that makes scientific research, software development, sales marketing in many countries, consulting, engineering, hardware production, and so on. So we make from science to engineering and so on. This is what I drive. And this is my background. This is my first career, just to say. This is how it looks now. I'm sure excuse me for feelings, but this is how looks my second career in university. You see, now we had been several months ago, this is how it looks my university, and now we reconstructed it, and you can see it on photos from the right. And this is at the bottom. This was Brelite production facility, my company, that was partly destroyed by Russian missile, but we renovate. But you just imagine how one day or one night can change all the career plans that you have, and think about it. Now the clue, the solution. In short, I think the common for all my ideas about habits that could improve your career is reading. It may be very simple, but as for me, it is very important because it helped me. And now I will tell you what helps, what is helpful in reading as a habit, and how it helped me to survive in these work conditions with my university career, how it helped me to develop this Brelite company through 3 crises, including world crisis. So I think what helped me really on practice was was reading. That from the early age, from my childhood, I like reading. And because so the effects of reading for your career. We will have about 7 points, 7 slides, each one about. First, this is. Excuse me. First, maybe you already read. First is one moment. Okay, excuse me. I have turned off all my chats, but they found me on Facebook Messenger. It is not advertising. Okay. First, reading makes you a better leader. Readers get a strong sense of empathy, able to connect with other people that help to build a business career. Reading helps to relate to other people, placing on other yourself or in their shoes. And this is a feature of a good reader, because if you want to build a great career in business field, you will have to create teams, you will have to communicate, you will have to organize somebody. And these are the main functions of management. So reading increases all of this. It increases IQ and IQ, makes you an effective communicator, provides a stimulus for a new thinking, new ideas, because those people who write books, if it is not professional maybe books, just some novels, these people, they feel much more better than most of us, and they put it on the pages, and you can read and understand and broaden your borders. And reading increases creativity along with focus and concentration. And also, reading brings you values. And when you build, for example, a business model for your company, then you should implement some values after, vision and mission. You should implement some values and here place some common values for companies. And in case you have the same values that your company, you will have more successful business career. So you can choose a company that declares some values, and at the same time, you should declare the same values as well, because if your team has one values, you have other values, then it is hard to build a good career, and you should be aware of this. Second one, reading improves decision making. If you want to build a business career, you will make hundreds of decisions from what to wear till some very global strategic decision. A part of this low impact decision, we have we make this multiple very important questions each day, just reading will help you to solve all these problems and make this strategic decision. You will get more information, you will get much better logic and so on. And you will feel comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, you will make your career better because you like your work. So, in short, reading improves decision making, but by cutting down the need to make a snap decision and creates a process to infer information better and avoid irrational judgments. This is second point, that reading improves decision making, which is good for your career. Third one, reading enhances analytical skills. Reading is good to the brain and it trains. This is what I'm started from, that brain is the biggest part of your body. And not about, I think, 10 or 20 years ago, because the science, it moves very fast, it was proven that till 25 years old, your brain is growing. So now you can train your brain with any exercises. Chess, reading, studying. First is, of course, studying university. But at the same time, your brain is growing. And this is a time to enhance analytical skills, because later you will need. First, you will push your career. It will maybe hard for you, but then the career will hold you. One moment. I don't... Okay, do you see my slide?
Yes, sure.
Yes, okay, thank you. So I continue. Reading stimulates the analytical part of brain, makes to think more, expands horizon of thinking, helps us to involve a person more, so can even provide transformative experiences. Reading enhances our knowledge. It helps to see patterns that you can bring from, for example, one sphere of life to other sphere. Analyze what we read, critique it meaningfully. This critical skills development aids in professional life as well. And as we improve our analytical skills, we become more efficient and able to add more value to the work. And, provide, for example, some startups and so on. It is very important to be skilled and to have analytical skill to bring one knowledge to other sphere when you can adopt these patterns and this knowledge. So reading enhances analytical skills, which is very important, especially for students that prepare their tools to the future career. Next one, reading expands vocabulary. It's very important for negotiations. While reading, we encounter new words. More words can be exposed to inevitably find their way into everyday vocabulary. So we also learn how to use the words in a more effective way. It makes our communication rich and meaningful. Being articulate and well-spoken builds self-confidence and does wonders in talks of life. During your business career, you will have lots of, everybody will have lots of negotiations. We will have a lot of conflicts. And having a good vocabulary sometimes helps to solve the problems in, for example, a diplomatic way, which is very important for a career. Especially, I think, for young people, because young people sometimes they should show their vocabulary, because it is important even for the starter from career when you have your first meeting with your future company. Next one, fifth. In pair of the fourth, that reading strengthens your writing skills. Writing skills matter in the workplace, and most of communication is written form. You know, now we have from emails to messenger, most of communication is in written form. Reading helps you to write better, even if it is a letter about how to make your salary bigger. It is imperative that you should be able to write well-articulated communications. It's common for everybody. Writing skill is an asset, and you should invest in this asset, as it helps you to communicate yourself in efficient and effective way. Better writing skills go hand in hand with the expansion of vocabulary. The more we read, the more strong is our writing becomes. So consider about it and read, of course, besides the literature and professional, some books, it is great to read some examples, how to write a letter correctly, especially in international way. Because even if you can do it greatly in your country, for example, when you drive international company, as I have yesterday, we lost about invested, not lost, about a weekend to make a great template for our Germany market, because Germany is needs very advanced writing skills. Everything should be written perfectly, and to read perfectly, we should write perfectly. And every country has its moments for it. Next one, reading makes you proactive. This helps you psychologically. At the end, I will give you some sources. If you need it, I can give you a link for this presentation, and there will be some sources, and there are information about the scientific research and some studies of recent years about how reading improves your brain. And you can read it if you want. I don't want to overload my presentation with some of the studies, because it is not a point today. But in short, reading improves concentration, reduces stress, makes high emotional. This your EQ and IQ helps you to become better version of yourself. We are able to think and analyze better. This all leads us to become more proactive in our approach. We do not waste time on things that do not warrant our attention. Instead, we are able to identify the tasks that need your attention. So in short, reading makes you proactive. That is important for your career. And last, that reading reduces stress. Everybody in business sphere have a stress, you know it, and work pressure can lead to too much stress in the workplace, and you cannot feel yourself happy. And who can help in this way? there is every chance that you will bring that stress at home to your family, to personal life, and it affects happiness. Stress can compromise how we perform at workplace, make us sick and kill us. And it is important to take care of your health, both physical and mental. Reading is good for your mental health. And it has been shown in the studies that it can reduce stress almost on 70%. It's very important. Whenever you feel stress out, it is a good idea to pick up a favorite book and lose yourself to it. You will be able to better tackle the problems at the workplace with stress-free mind. So every weekend and every evening, I try to take my book, usual book that maybe not connected with my profession, but it is a psychological point that we should be switched to feel calm and to work better the next morning. So reading reduces stress, which is good for your career in business fields. And some short conclusion. Here you can see on the right of my slide my contacts, and with this QR code for my LinkedIn. Who wants, you can connect me. All my this work with students and some my work with in my company, I put this conversations in LinkedIn. It is convenient for me. And at the bottom, you can see useful sources with all this information about research and studies and more data how reading improves you. And which are used as sources for this presentation, and conclusions from my presentation, that reading is underrated because people are unaware of how they incorporate reading in their day-to-day life. You know, people like to do some things that they will get instant effect, and sometimes they cannot understand the instant effect of reading. It is a long-term question. With some consistent efforts and willingness, reading can bring transformation in life. Think about it, please. Second conclusion, while many people read for pleasure, there are also professional reasons to read books regularly. For example, I have a task for my students on management and international management lessons that I give them at least one book in their profession that they should make short and translate into Ukrainian language and publish in their LinkedIn. This helps them to make some professional feeling of their LinkedIn profile, and at the same time, they get some knowledge about their profession. The third one, reading can benefit your career by driving you a better vocabulary, sparkling creativity, reducing stress, and fostering empathy. And the last one, reading is also known to increase intelligence and build perseverance. So I suggest from both my careers, when you're planning career, when you're working on it on any stage of your career, I think that the clue and the solution is a habit of reading. And I believe that this habit of reading, from all my experience, I believe that this habit of reading will help you to build a successful career in business field, and moreover, to feel happy, healthy, and comfortable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and for Mr. Andrii. Yeah, thank you so much. And the second speaker is Miss Liudmyla Semenova from University of Custom and Finance, Ukraine. Yeah, for Miss Liudmyla, the time is yours. Thank you.
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you. The topic of my presentation is effective habits, examples of famous history figures, businessmen and investors. Wait a moment, I have to open my presentation. Yes, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. The purpose of my talk is to give a general idea of the power of habit, for example, of habit. As an entrepreneur, there will be time when you want to just hide from the world, your fears, and at times you just want the world to know how badly you are training to be one the top. All this is going to be a part of your entrepreneur journey, but let's not dwell into the outcome. Let's get back to what you can do to make your journey a success. Next slide. There are 5 successful people on the slide. Do you know these personalities? What do they create? With what do you associate this person? Please feel free to write a comment if you'd like. Why did I choose these particular personalities? Creators of famous brands, business empires, inventions. All of these people lived in different times, and everyone that they own path to success. Yes, they are no longer there, but the business empire they created exit now and continue to generate billions in incomes. So what do they have in common? Effective habits. Effective habits, the habits that help these famous people make their business and their hobbies successful. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and year can be enormous. So the business of life is to judge a great man by their result. The result is just so happened comes, and if you really learn something from the big one, then you need to pay attention to the beginning. Before moving on to their habits, let's get to know them. And the first man is a candler. Yeah, Coca-Cola is born in 1886. But as a candler, a person who did not create a product, but created a brand out of it, a recognizable trademark and a successful business empire. The second man, Nikola Tesla. Without this outstanding engineer, the usual rhythm of modern human life is unthinkable. Homes don't have electricity, light, wireless communication, or the internet. When May 1888, Tesla received his main invention, pencil. The third person, Henry Ford. Ford states in 1892, completed my first motor car, powered by a 2-cylinder 4-horsepower motor. And the most interesting is that Ford designed his first car in his spare time. The fifth person, Ruth Handler. And this is Mom the Barbie doll. Barbie debuted in 1959. And Vera Wang in Stylus magazine said, perseveres today as a cultural icon. Her enchanting essence has eleved generations of women to enter a world of make-believe that knows no boundaries. In 2009, 50 of fashion's leading designer created the hottest ticket of New York City Fashion Week. The show celebrities absorbed muse on their 50th birthday. Millions of children dream of the Barbie doll and her doll house. Maybe one of you is the same child. Every 3 seconds, one doll is sold in the world. More than 1.5 billion toys have been sold since the release. She even has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Where is my doll? I don't know. Next person and his habits. Stephen Paul Jobs or Steve Jobs. The first real business project Job carried out while still at school. This is blue box. In April 1976, Job with Wozniak and administrative oversight Leonard Wayne founded Apple Computer Company, now Apple Incorporated. So my task is to consider the daily habits of outstanding people. Therefore, I will not pay much attention to getting to know all aspects to their lives. If you want to know more about each of them, the information technology now allows you to do it yourself without even getting up from the couch. We got to know these people, and so now we come to learn about the habits. 2 people and 1 product. One person went down in history as its creator. The second one as a successful entrepreneur who created a business empire. John Pemberton. Pemberton was the man who created Coca-Cola. Pemberton was budget and addiction to morphine. At some point, being healthy became a goal for Pemberton. If he didn't want to get rid of his addiction and had been looking for a cure, we would never have gotten cola. But not believe in the long-term potential of his new drink and never got rid of his addiction. Pemberton slowly sold off his ownership of the brand and his secret formula. The creator of cola did just 2 years after the invention of the drink. In fact, without having time to take advantage for the fruits of his own success. Fortunately for Coca-Cola lovers, the recipe for the syrup was bought by aspiring entrepreneur and own a small chain of pharmacy as Candler. Candler is for the owner of a pharmacy was an active person, had a sharp mind and a habit of analyzing information related to the scope of his business. So quickly focused on the needs of customers and everything new that could make a profit. Many contemporaries called Candler a model of a successful businessman and an incredible assertive person. Using his acute business acumen and aggressive marketing, Candler launched on its ways to becoming the #1 brand in the world, cola. The habit on achieving the set goal has formed in Candler such a character trait as assertiveness and the habit of collecting and analyzing information helped to accurately find successful marketing strategies. As a result, in 2009, the company managed to increase the value on the brand by 3%, and it amounted to $68.7 billion. The other day, I went to the supermarket and photographed 2 large tables with many different shapes of boxes and cups, which confirms once again, Coca-Cola is the second most famous world after the famous OK. And it's a Christmas train coming soon, the main symbol of the new year. So, bravo, Mr. Candler. The most mysterious person, Nikola Tesla. Tesla keeps on inspiration for many of today's entrepreneurial mavericks. To date, disputes and discussion have not ceased around the identity of the scientist, and the main question has been observed: how did he manage to create new technology in such a significant time that anticipate the 21st century? It was customary for him to take care of his own health. Even though he was repeatedly stricken with illness in young age, he always prioritized on a healthy living. He lived inside of himself with deep interest in his own work. He possessed a supply of self-love. Being self-considered was also habitual for him. Daily habits of Nikola Tesla: work from 9 to 6 daily. After dinner, he would often resume work until late into the night. The habit of walking for 8 to 10 miles a day. Sleep habits: he claimed to sleep very little. By all means, I consider him a workaholic. Such habits become an integral part of our life, form our character, and often associated with success. Next, the successful man, Henry Ford. The initial inspiration that pushed the young Henry Ford was the idea that the steam engine could revolutionize the monotony of agricultural work. He had a habit that became a passion to apply technology to working men. This business titan lived his legend in the quiet house of his hidden workshop. During this time, he hand machined the best automobile engineer the world had ever known. Are you living your legend? Write it. Internal greatness is the character, habits, special knowledge, ways of thinking, connection, and powers, which Henry Ford spent a decade and a half cultivating. That produce external greatness. After launching his initial venture, he found his goals didn't line up with his business partners. Fourth, internal compass. The habit of following his dream idea was pointed in a different direction. Henry Ford was an individual who had acquired the trait of being persistent, and career is without resignation. And next, the person, this woman, Ruth Handler. Ruth Handler is best for inventing the Barbie. Strong-headed, active, and independent, so they say about Ruth Handler in a nutshell. She was born at a time when it was believed that a career is an exclusively male activity, and a girl should devote herself to family and children. However, this ordinary fate did not suit Ruth. The habit of achieving differently than others helped her achieve real great success in life. Ruth Handler achieved her success thanks to the fact that she was used to not giving up, but by trying again and again, and step by step. People like her don't stop at the signal of a barrier. One way to reach out to success is to knock. Believe in themselves and in their success as their way in the fight against the vicissitudes of fate. Habits don't stop at achieving, and don't be afraid to come off with something new. Habit Truth created a successful business universe. Only self-confidence can become the level that will help each of us turn failures into a brilliant victory. The habit of observing and analyzing what he co-founded one of Root's principles. If you want to give to the consumer what he really needs, watch him. Next person, Steve Jobs. What did Jobs created on the slide? An apple, a phone, a laptop, computer programs, and glass strikers. You think what? Like strikers? Yes. In large Apple stores, you can see an amazing glass staircase. Steven's name is mentioned among the names of its inventors. The habit that made Steve Jobs iconic and that made Steve Jobs a visionary for which he will always be remembered for is because of this core habit that Steve Jobs was able to build Apple into the behemoth that it became. He constantly created value. He had learned somehow early on that by creating value, he would push past because of average people and companies selling average products. He obsessed over every detail. The habit of obsessing over the details isn't akin to most folks, but it is akin to many of the visionary leaders and great entrepreneurs who've graced the earth. He set goals often. The long-term goals gave him direction, but the short-term goals and the milestones helped him to stay on track in the near term, making his vision into a reality. He built trust at every stage. Jobs knew the importance of trust making is a cornerstone of his habit repertoire. He tracked and analyzed the numbers. Successful entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs know that in order to achieve their goals, they need to constantly track and analyze the numbers, adjusting their approach with the field. He learned from every failure, but he also knew how to use those failures to fuel him better than deter him. He never gave up. Others thought certain things weren't possible, but Jobs knew all too well that they were. And I'd like to finish by emphasizing the mind point. They set 12 goals. John Pemberton found a cure for a drug. Asa Candler made Coca-Cola the #1 brand in the world. Nikola Tesla to invent. Henry Ford a car for everyone. Ruth Handler created a doll that teenagers need. Steve Jobs created value. Healthy lifestyle. The way you set your morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. Albert Hubert said, be pleasant until 10 o'clock in the morning and the rest of the day will take care of itself. They find time for themselves. Remember, Henry Ford built his first car in his spare time. Ruth studied toys from other manufacturers when she traveled. Make the right decisions. Jobs knew the importance of trust, making it a cornerstone of his habit repertoire. Fourth, after launching his initial venture, he found his goals didn't line up with his business partners and leaving his machinist job at Thomas Edison's machine shop. So now we come to the topic of our webinar, the habits that help these famous people make their business and their hobbies successful. Proactiveness, assertiveness, follow not the guide but your inner compass. Act differently than others. Respect what you are doing. Faith in yourself and your business. Strong communication skills. Track and analyze information related to the scope of your business. Learn from every failure. Not giving up and trying again. Do not stop when you see an obstacle. Do not be afraid of difficulties. Don't stop there. Have character, don't give up. How successful is your business going to be? Will you become as successful and famous as their strong personalities? It all depends on you and your habits that share your character. Tap into the power of habits and free up your mental resource for your most important decision. Success don't happen overnight. Habits need to be developed and fostered. They need to be cultivated and nurtured. Next slide is the source of information. Photo, person. Thank you for attention.
Thank you so much for Miss Liudmyla. Yeah, thank you for sharing your presentation. And then And then next speaker, Mr. Associate Professor Norman Chiliya from University of Venda from South Africa. Yeah, for Professor Norman, the time is yours. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share my slides. Okay, just a second there.
It's okay, sure.
Okay. How do I minimize the ribbon?
Yes, everything is perfect.
All right. Okay, sorry about that technical glitch. My colleague Giranda was supposed to talk on the topic, but that's not a problem. He will talk on entrepreneurship, which is my area of specialization tomorrow. All right, in my career, I've changed jobs 6 times. And most of my career was in an academic setup. I've worked for 4 universities, and in my spare time, I run a small farm. Okay, I'll give you a brief background about the South African labor context. Currently, the unemployment rate stands at 35.8%, which simply means that 36% of the population is looking for jobs. The consumer price index rose from 105 to 109 this month. The interest rate also increased, which means the cost of borrowing money from banks is becoming what? Higher. And at the moment, we also have electricity shortages, which affects operational capacity of what? The businesses. At times, we spend about between 4 to 6 hours without electricity per day. And it's estimated that 37,000 employees are going to lose their jobs. Already in 2022, 159 businesses closed, shop. They stopped operating. So what does this mean? It means that everyone who has a job will try and save that particular what? Job. In terms of the topic today, I started by defining what a habit is. And I said a habit is a way of behaving, or it's something that you do regularly. Like myself, when I go to the office in the morning, the first thing that I do is to check my emails, then arrange them according to priority. So it's something that you do, regularly. That's the definition of what? A habit. Then I said the next thing, when you work, you need to keep a pattern of doing things. Like, for example, checking emails 3 times a day, doing admin work maybe between 8 and 10 in the morning, doing research work between 2 and 4 when it's less busy. So you need to keep a pattern of doing what? Your activities. Then the next thing that I talked about in my slide, that I mentioned in my slides, is that in order for you to be successful, especially if you're coming from university and you don't have experience, you need to have a mentor or a coach. A mentor or a coach is an advisor who would guide you, because you are less experienced. They have the knowledge and the experience, so they act as a buddy to you. They show you the direction, how things are done in a particular company. I also say networking is very important when it comes to, a habit that you need to develop. One, you need to interact with peers in your industry. Share the latest trends, the latest information, the latest products. You also need to, interact with your competitors. You need to know why are they choosing competitor products than your company. And you never know. You might end up also working for your competitor. As I said earlier on, I've changed 4 universities in my life. So you might end up on the other side of the industry. You also attend conferences. At conferences, you get to meet the experts in the field. They share insights, information, and the research that they are currently conducting. So if you need to succeed, stay abreast or stay ahead of trends that are happening in your field. Research is very important. Then another thing that you also need to do is to continuously improve. Strive for perfection. Make small or incremental changes to enhance the quality of your output. Let's say learning never ends. If your company provides training opportunities, grab them. You have, a small diary where you keep your weaknesses and the action plan that you are going to implement to improve, so that, when it comes to performance management, you're able to tell your manager that I had this weakness and I've improved there. Your manager will be happy because you have, adopted a plan to solve your weakness, is it? Then the most important thing to me is time management. Time is money. Time is very precious. Once it's lost, it will never be recovered. I know almost everyone, we have these gadgets that we love so much. Cell phone. Some people can't live without a cell phone. If you're busy reading messages from your friends, you're wasting your company time. Check your calendar regularly. Keep, a log on time that you spend on certain activities. You have a priority list. For example, I receive close to about 200 emails. Some of them, they're junk. Some of them, I don't even respond to them because, they waste my time. I think all these previous speakers talked about having a balance between work and social life. Do not overwork yourself. Try to have that balance between work and your social life. Try and have time for your loved ones. Otherwise, you're going to suffer stress and you end up in a hospital bed. If your company has, sporting activities, try and join, such activities. Take a break, walk around the office so that, you exercise your, blood flow and all those things. Sleep, have enough sleep. I know of colleagues who don't sleep. You go to the office in the morning, you find them, they're wearing clothes that they were wearing yesterday. That person has slept in the office researching. They want to be the top publisher in the university. So, all right. Another thing that you also need to do is to dress professionally. Even, for online meetings, you find people in their pajamas, their sleeping clothes, attending meetings. That does not show a good image about yourself. And you're not likely to make a positive impression to your clients, for example, if you are dressed shabbily. You're not dressed properly. Communication is also very important. Communication is a process of transferring information from one person to another person. So this message should be understood with clarity. Gestures mean different things in different cultures, for example. Research about the clients that you're going to deal with. Teamwork. It's unlike, in university setting where you usually submit individual assignments. In companies, we work in teams. Do not backstep others. Do not be a social loafer. A social loafer doesn't work. The person waits for others to work and contribute excuse me, their ideas. They go about talking about others, gossiping. So when you get a chance to participate in a meeting, contribute to what is being said. Also be an active listener. And often when you work in a group, you'd find that conflicts do arise. Be diplomatic when it comes to solving conflicts. Then The next most important thing to me, when you're doing your work, pay attention to detail. Proofread your work before you submit it to your superiors. There's nothing, that is boring, fixing someone's work because they didn't, bother proofreading, the work before submitting to you. Then the next important habit is to be creative. Come up with new ideas. Think outside the box. Managers like people who go an extra mile. Then, another important aspect that you need to take into consideration when you're working for a company is that excuse me, every company has what is called, a performance management system. This is where they assess your performance, as an individual. What are you bringing to the company? So normally during that performance feedback session, you also get what? Negative feedback. When you get negative feedback, it doesn't mean that your manager hates you. They are saying there is room for improvement. So if you fix A, B, C, you'll be a better what? Employee. Don't take that personal. So in conclusion, I missed the last habit. Yeah, in any company, any organization, you would find there will be difficult customers or difficult colleagues. So learn how to deal with such, people. They will always cause problems. So be diplomatic when you are dealing with such individuals. In conclusion, if you excel, you'll be rewarded. And habits need to be refined, continuously. The more you refine the habit, the more it becomes what? Perfect. If you want to get in touch with me, there is my email address. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much for Professor Norman. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And then to the last speaker, Miss Ida Hendriyani from STEKOM University, Indonesia. For Miss Ida, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, this special occasion, international webinar related to the habit that could improve your career in business field. I would like to present my topic related to 7 habits self-made billionaire entrepreneurs. It is essential to have 7 powerful habits self-made billionaires entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs also take out certain lifestyle changes and improvise their habits. Formally, I present about my presentation slides. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ida Hendriyani M.Hum. I'm a lecturer of Science and Computer Technology University. Assoc campus, I run several own businesses. I had some companies. The first one, I'm the owner of culinary businesses, such as cafe and resto. And I'm the owner and director of the education and training institutions. The last, I'm the marketing director of a sportive trading company. In my presentation, I would like to discuss in my presentation, I'd like to discuss 7 powerful habits self-made billionaire entrepreneurs. Yeah, our character is also habit and have a powerful role in our lives. Habit consists of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge allows us to know what to do. A skill gives us the ability to know how to do it, and desire is motivation, the motivation to do it. There are 7 habits billionaires. Yeah. The first one, early to rise. And the second, handle time management. 3, always be inspired. 4, be proactive. 5, begin with the end of in mind. 6, energize and networking. 7, think win-win. Yeah, habit 1, early to rise. Early to rise, early to bed, early to rise. Make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. A phrase we have heard almost all our lives, but to become a successful entrepreneur, you always need to practice it. Going to bed early is the key factor. Another phrase that needs implementation here is sleep like a baby. Getting good, sound sleep is as important as sleeping early. Researchers highlight the fact that a lack of proper sleep leads to stress, forcing you to make poor decisions, and that is something you need to avoid while running a business. Having a fixed, appropriate sleeping cycle is essential. To be a successful entrepreneur or business people, you should never undervalue sleep. Make and maintain an appropriate sleep cycle. Yeah, there are 8 reasons to rise early. Okay, the first one, no disruption. Second, mental edge over other people. And 3, it can build our discipline. 4, good time to do exercises because health is important for entrepreneurs. And 5, faster commute during a business travel or business office or company. 6, you are more likely to work if you get up earlier. 7, less likely to procrastinate. And 8, building momentum for today. Yeah. The second habit, time management. Time management and fair use of time help you accomplish a more in certain amount of time, leading to more leisure time, enabling you to take advantage of learning opportunities, minimizing stress, and helping you to concentrate and focus more. Distributing time to various tasks would reduce wastage of time. Yeah, there are several time management, how to do time management. The first one, yeah, goal setting. You cannot reach a destination if you don't know where you are going. And second, prioritizing. There is always more to do than time, so we have to prioritize what we will to do today. The third one, self-discipline. Learning and practicing self-discipline is a lifelong process. 5, planning and scheduling. It saves time and boosts productivity. And 6, using free time smartly. There is time to relax, but you need to be productive with your free time too. 7, learn to say no. Set your boundaries and respect your time and plans. And the last one, delegating and sourcing. Allow yourself to delegate to work that's not top priority. Yeah, there are 10 skills time management you need. The first one, planning. You have to do plan. You have to make a list to do today or time planning for today. And two, prioritizing. Prioritizing here, you have to prioritize your goals. Yeah, and three, goal settings for today, 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months and 1 year. For decision making, yeah, and five, we have to focus on one field or one job. Six, self-awareness. Seven, self-motivation. How we motivate ourselves to do better, and delegating our tasks to our team or our staff. Nine, dealing with stress. Yeah, we have to reduce the stress by doing exercises or by doing meditation. 10, organization. We have to organize everything good. Yeah, habit 3, always be inspired. If you remember the exact moment when your initially business idea crossed mind, and then the exact moment you decided to go for it, well, that means to be inspired. When all the pieces of the puzzle suddenly fit it together, you feel this rush and eagerness to just do something. Although the feeling of inspiration is transitory, it's good for your creativity levels to keep an open mind and proactive attitude so that you are always as accepting of it as you can be. You can, for example, find something that inspires you to watch, read, listen to, and consume at least a bit of it every day. Whether it for you is a scientific channel with the latest trends in technology development, example, a TED Talk, an inspirational blog, or your favorite podcast, it's important that you do it today. All ideas for doing something big or small stay by inspiration. The places we visit, that the people we meet, and things we do play a big part in changing our everyday life. Naturally, it's hard to change the way someone thinks and works, but you can inspire him or her. We cannot inspire everyone, but everyone can inspire us. Why could we inspire by everyone? Because without the inspiration, the idea cannot be happened, and the innovation will never exist. Okay. Yeah. Inspire yourself. Who get inspired from you? When you started believing yourself, this because the first step towards the get inspired. By analyzing successful people's stories, they also started their journey by believing themselves. No matter who you are, where are you from, the only thing matters is your confidence, skills, and self-trust. To build up this, you have to make a plan or a schedule to improve your qualities. Watch some successful person's story. Try to analyze your positive points. Write it down to paper or make a diary. Make a proper conversation with professionals, and etc. Always inspired to be inspired by the inspiring. This is no end to education. It's not that you will read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are born to the moment of you die, is a process of learning. Research shows that you begin learning in the womb and go right on learning until the moment you pass on. Your brain has the capacity for learning that is virtually limitless, which makes every human a potential genius. Yeah, habit 4, proactive. Habits are powerful force in our lives. They determine our lives of effectiveness or ineffectiveness. Focus on action what can be controlled and influenced instead of what can't. Successful entrepreneur read more than anyone else. Uh, Reading varied contents and books breaks the monotony, connecting you to new things. Along with this, reading also keeps you updated on all that is going around the world. Rather than leaking onto social media platform, you should engage yourself in reading good, renowned books that dictate quality content. Yeah, habit be proactive. Proactive people recognize that they are responsible. They don't blame genetics, circumstance, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. They know they choose their behavior. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment. They find external sources to blame for their behavior. Your language is a good indicator of how you see yourself. A proactive person uses proactive language. For example, I can, I will, I prefer. For a reactive person uses reactive languages. I can't, I have to, if only. Yeah. Habit 5, setting goals. Begin with the end in mind. Setting goals begin with the end in mind. There is no business without a business plan with clearly outlined long-term goal. That's something you probably know already. However, every big goal composed of many smaller sub-goals. The goals unit should get as small as daily goals. Some of the most successful business people set goals for each day. A daily goal can be something like reply to all my emails or make at least 2 sales. It's good to set daily goals early in the morning when you feel fresh and energetic. If you are not sure how to set, manage, and measure achievable goals, perhaps check out one of our previous article on books. Yeah, what principle to how to pick your progress and measure your success and much more. Begin with the end in mind. This is based on imagination, the ability to envision in your mind that what you cannot at present see with your eyes. It's based on the principle that all things are created twice. There is a mental creation and a physical creation. The physical creation follows the mental, such as building follows a blueprint. If you don't make a conscious effort to visualize who you are and what you want in life, then you empower other people and circumstances to shape you and your life by default. It's about connecting again with your own uniques and then defining the personal, moral, and ethical guidelines within which you can most happily express and fulfill yourself. Yeah, business goal settings. There are several steps to get a goal or business goal. The first one, create a vision. What's your vision and mission of our company or our business? The second step, get a reality crack and plan our strategy. Third step, break vision down into short-term goal. And the last step, work your plan, keep track of how you are doing and adjust as needed. I conclude the business goals into five SMART. SMART as specific, M measurable, A attainable, R relevant, and T time bound. Specific, provide enough details to eliminate a general goals decision. Measurable, metrics to determine whether a goal will be attained and track progress. Attainable goals should be realistic under the skills and resources available. Relevant goals should be consistent and make sense with the business mission. Time-bound goals should be attainable in a defined time period. Habit 6, networking. If you have a great plan, a good business strategy, and lots of knowledge but have no connections or relations, that factor alone can hinder your business success. While most people understand that is one of the basic principles of doing business, not many people list networking as an activity they need to do every day. Helping others, visiting social events that people from your similar branches of business often attend, reaching out for collaborations, making a page on social media, and interacting with people are all ways of networking that will be beneficial for your business. Networking really pays off immediately. It takes time to repeat interactions. And how is connecting to people different from networking? We separate these two activities on purpose, as networking means making connections relevant for doing business, while connecting with people has a more personal component, although it can be motivated by your business goal. Hearing out people's personal stories and learning about their lives and issues allow you to create a deeper connections with your community and perhaps give back by doing what is in your power. Make sure to regularly connect with people who are close and dear to you, but also open to new friends and acquaintances. Curiosity is a trait that takes you far in life and can be driving force behind your success. Synergize. Synergy means two heads are better than one. Synergize is the habit of creativity, cooperations, it's teamwork, open-minded, and adventures of finding new solution and old problem. When people begin to interact together generally, and they are open to each other's influence, they begin to gain new insight. Differences should be seen as strengths, not weaknesses. They add sense of life. So valuing differences is what really drives synergy. There are several tips for business networking. The first one, have a goal before you get started. Second, attend business networking events, for example, a business international seminar or a business community or a business organization. And three, create LinkedIn profile. 4, join communities relevant to your field, example, business community or entrepreneurship community. 5, give as much as you take. 6, network with local businesses or vendor. And 7, vigilance. 8, always be networking. There are several benefits of networking. The benefits of networking, we have power. We have power and career control because most of people know us. We have wide or broad networking and understand career options. We could have a peer support. Some people or some relations support our business. And having networking, we can locate mentors and sponsor. And efficiency, learn new skills and credibility, external recognition. We could we get external recognition from our networking. And then the last one, think win-win. Yeah, think win-win. Meaning have an everyone can win attitude. Everyone here, business people, business people or business to business, can win attitude. And the second one, clarify our agreement. Seek to understand others, and unites people in helpful and supportive ways. Yeah, many of us grow up with a competitive mindset. For example, I win and you lose, or a beaten down mindset. I give up, do whatever you want to me, or a mix of this and other mindset. When we negotiate in win-win, we have to think a win-win solution for our business partners or our business client. We should make deals that help everyone or every business persons make happy. Yeah, if you think you can win. Faith is necessary to victory. Yeah, I think win-win isn't about being nice or it's a quick fix technique. It is a character-based code for human interaction and collaboration. We think about succeeding in terms of someone else failing. That is, if I win, you lose. If you win, I lose. Our life becomes zero-sum game. So win-win sees life as a cooperative arena, not a competitive one. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win-win solution or win-win in business means agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial and satisfying. Yeah. Okay, so this the end of my presentation. Seven habits self-made by billionaire entrepreneurs. Yeah, thank you for the time and attention.
Thank you so much for Miss Ida. And then we will go to the next session for all audience. If you have any question from the speaker, please add them in the chat or you can raise your hand. Okay, for first question, we have question from audience in the YouTube from Mr. Muhammad Saiful Fuad. What must we do to growing up, engagement, analytical skill, and the employee or leader or management development as the solution to maintain the field problem? Thank you. This is question from our speaker. Maybe we will answering first. Suara saya terdengar My voice is clearly.
Okay, may I answer this one?
Thank you.
Okay, some universities do have training programs, especially for students in their final years, work readiness programs, where they are trained about analytical skills, where they do, psychometric assessments, where they do CV writing, or some students, they do, a holiday or winter internships before they even graduate. They apply, to companies that host, winter internship programs, so that they start getting these management, skills. Or some, opt to apply for graduate trainee programs. They normally have, what do you call it? Analytical skills development workshops. And the times after the internship program, you also get a certificate for that.
Thank you for answering. Maybe any speaker, we will put opinion also. Okay, I will go to the next question from Mr. Suharso. How do we improve our career when nepotism is dominant? Prioritizing one's family to get a vital position in job, not based on this competence. What solution do you have to tell me? Thank you.
What's the question? Could you repeat more the questions, please?
How do we improve our career when nepotism is dominant? Prioritize one family to get a vital position in job, not based on his competence. I'm sorry. What solution do you have to tell me? Thank you.
Can I chip in on this one? Some companies do have clear policy that prevents, when you apply on the application form, you clearly indicate if you are related to someone on the form. If you are related to someone, they won't employ you. For example, when I worked at Monash University, they would not employ relatives. Once known that you are relatives, they would fire you. So it depends with the company policy. They have to, come up with a policy that prohibits employing relatives. But some companies do encourage it though. For example, some companies, let's say I get a job as a professor. My wife maybe is a lecturer. They would encourage, us to move as a family together, so that the distance between me and my wife becomes what? Smaller, and I can attend to family needs. So it varies from company to company. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for answering. I think from Miss Ida.
Yeah, okay. I add, especially in Indonesian companies, mostly Indonesian companies belongs to family companies, right? So actually not nepotism, but sometimes the owner of company maybe belongs to the father, and the father is maybe is retired of from the company, and he wants his children or his son to continue his company. Yeah, I think it's normal because what the son of course, they has already studied or has already known about business, about his father's business or his father's company. So he just continue his father's company. And how about the competence? I think competence can be learned by doing. And if he has the other good skills, example leadership or good at marketing, I think it can be balanced to grow up the company. Yeah. This my opinion.
Okay, thank you. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Maybe another speaker will answer or no, it's okay. Okay, I will go to the next question. How do you form entrepreneurship traits in yourself, and what skills should an entrepreneur have? This is question from Miss Febriana. Thank you.
Suara, Mbak.
Okay, and maybe the next question. If we are business owner, does the company need to carry
How
out?
about the previous question? Have already answered?
Maybe
Has
Miss
already
Ida
answered?
will answer. Is it okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The question: how do you form entrepreneur traits in yourself? What skills should an entrepreneur have? Yeah. Okay. Actually, being entrepreneur is not easy. We have some skills or entrepreneurship skills. Yeah. There are several entrepreneur skills. Yeah. The first one, business management skills. How to how to manage our business. And the second one, teamwork and leadership skill. Yeah, as a entrepreneur, we have to have leadership skills to manage to manage our team or teamwork. Three, communication and listening. Yeah, communication is essential for the leader of company or for the entrepreneurs. And listening, always understanding. Listening what the teamwork needs or the customers or client needs. We have to know the opportunity or the chance of clients from the clients. For customer service skills. Yeah, if we want to have a good, excellent company, we have to have a customer service or excellent customer service, because from the customers, our business can grow up, and one customer can recommend the other customers to buy or to use our products. And five, financial skills. Financial is essential. Yeah, financial skills is essential for having a business or for running business, because managing finance management is important to make our decisions to grow up or develop our business. Six, analytical and problem solving skills. As a leader of company or as a director of company, we have to solve many problems, because having or running business, there are a lot of problems. For example, customer problems, teamwork problems, management problems, financial problems. So as a leader or as a business owner, we have to have ability to solve problem, or having problem solving skills is essential. And 7, critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills is needed by the owner of company or by entrepreneur, because if you think critic or if you think smart, we can use a different strategy or new strategy to compete the other competitors, or grow up or develop our business. And the last, strategic thinking and planning skills. Planning skills are important before we run our business. Setting goals and targeted goals are necessary. They are 8 entrepreneurial skills we have to get. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering, Miss Ida. And then the last question, this is from Mr. Faisahruddin. If we are business owner, does the company need to carry out career development for employees? What is the purpose of this activity? Thank you.
The question for who speaker?
All speaker.
Novita.
Yeah. Okay, I will go to the next question maybe. This is for our speaker also. How to maintain teamwork? This is the last question from Mr. Sukamto. How to maintain teamwork spirit at work in uncertainty condition like in crisis, where we are not sure 100% it will success? Thank you. Maybe our speaker will answer first. Thank you.
Okay, I will try to answer the previous questions. If we are a business owner, does the company need to carry out career development for employees? Yes, of course we do. What is the purpose of this activity? Yeah, employees development impact our organization or our company or our corporate. The first one, we have to encourage growth. We'll ensure our current workplace continues to grow by providing development opportunities for our employees. This allows our organization to stay up to date or ahead of industry trends by continuing to grow continuing to grow workforce skill sets. Our organization can innovate and become an industrial leader. Yeah, some company have good trainings, especially international training for the employees, because after having international trainings or good trainings, they can apply what they get from the trainings to develop or to grow up our company. So our employees or our staff become highly skilled and specialized. So our company organization has a greater competitive advantage. And yeah, in some companies, there are some company development program. Yeah, company development programs. If we are thinking about employees development plans for our company organization, we'll need to consider the unique needs of our organization or our companies and our employees. This ensures that our employees development activities are tailored to our specific industry and skills. Think about the skill critical to our industry and how we can create a robust employees development program that caters to all learning styles, preference, and skill levels. If our program does not appeal to our employees, they will lose interest in it, preventing them from developing valuable skills. So, needed for the career development for for employees. Yeah, this is my answer. How about the other speakers' opinions? My answer based on my own experience when I handle company.
Thank you for Miss Ida. Maybe from Mr. Norman or Mr. Andrii, Miss Semenova will answering also before I close this event.
In South Africa, what basically happens is that where you pay tax and you pay what is also called skills development levy. So the money that you pay to the skills development levy goes into a central pot where SMEs would now apply from that pot to say I have 5 employees that need to go on training. Department of Small Business, then they are sent on a training. Yes, why the skills development, important for a small business. Small businesses, they don't operate, in isolation with the big businesses. The business environment is constantly changing. Hence, they need to acquire new skills that will enable them to compete with, big businesses. Like before COVID, COVID disrupted ways of doing things. So they had to acquire those new skills that were required in the post-COVID environment. Thank you.
Thank you for answering, Mr. Norman. Maybe from Ms. Semenova.
Yes, thank you. Answering the question of Katerina Lukyanenko, each of these person is successful, but for me, probably more interesting is Steve Jobs. And I believe that successful people become those who are interested in what they do. Thank you.
Thank you for answering. Maybe from Mr. Andrii. Okay. I will go to the next session. Yeah. Before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture for documentation. Bagi para peserta, bisa dinyalakan terlebih dahulu untuk kameranya. Yeah, I will say 1, 2, 3. Okay. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am also put link attendance for audience. For our audience can fill this link to get the certificate for attend this webinar. Okay. Finally, we come to the end of the webinar today. We would like to say thanks again for Mr. Andrii Vasyliev, Miss Liudmyla, and also Mr. Norman and Miss Ida. Yeah, for the wonderful information. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for our audience, and I hope we can meet again at another event in the future. Also, I would like to thank for all participants for attending this webinar and making this event more interesting. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future. The webinar for today and here we hope to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye.
So,
Bye.
thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Novita.
Thank Bye.
you. Goodbye. Thank you, Miss Novita.
Yeah, we started. Goodbye.